Hey Melody, this is your September song review. This is for Etude 8, The Aftermath, or Etude number 8, The Aftermath. Ooh. Sounds like this is in harmonic minor. Well, I love this. You know me, I love piano. Beautiful sort of arpeggios, descending arpeggios of different chords. Beautiful reverb. Ah. There I go. Okay, so that is okay, so it's an E major triad. Then it's a D sharp major triad, I think. Yeah. Right. Then it's what was it? No. Okay. E major, D sharp major, then C sharp minor, then E flat major, or I guess in this case, sorry, D sharp major, then, but this one's inverted. So that's very beautiful. That last one being inverted, so the root has been moved somewhere else in the chord, is so nice because you get this movement. Then we move the whole thing a half step down. So you get that nice tight kind of pivot. And then very kind of mournful sounding C sharp minor chord. Then instead of going back up to the D sharp major chord, which is a whole step above this, you invert that last one so that your arpeggio continues to descend. So by reordering the chord, you are able to preserve that descending motif. Sorry. Beautiful. And then I don't know what key we're in yet, just yet. We'll have to see how it develops. Nice variations. Oh. Love that. Okay, so that's our tonic chord. Is it E minor? No. Okay, so it's okay, G sharp minor. Right? Oh, that's so haunting. Wait. Okay, this is super dope, but I gotta figure the chord progression out before we get into the drums. I like that clash. So one might assume that by going oh. So these are kind of at odds. How pretty is that? That's the G sharp minor and the E major. Sounds like a film score. So that's gorgeous. And then you go, you keep this chord the same, the G sharp minor chord underneath with the D sharp major. So you have this. All together, that is altogether that's some kind of like minor major ninth chord or something crazy. I'm not gonna, it's not important, but it is a very like curious sound, you know. It's like some things are like sort of at odds, but I like that pedal kind of tone created by this G sharp minor chord. It's just really cool, a little unexpected, very dramatic. Makes you want to know what's going to happen, you know. Okay, here we also have two chords that are kind of at odds, but are working together to create some really interesting drama. So then you go from your G sharp minor chord to sounds like the 5 chord, the dominant chord. So that would be D sharp major. But up here, we've gone, and then we have, right? So you got this major chord, and then this minor chord up here. Hear that? What a cool sound. I love these. Okay. And then that last chord fits with the D sharp major chord. So they finally line up. That's very cool. Kind of, yeah, things sort of like drama, tension, and then all fits together. That's very satisfying. I love that. Okay, this is cool. Sorry, I know I keep stopping it, but I'm very into the harmony of this song. Okay, so then we have the C sharp major chord with okay, with this up top. So we have, that's cool. So that's oh, sorry. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of hearing was like this dominant 7th chord. It's a very unique, bold, sassy sound. So that's kind of a nice like jab. Except it's up top here, right? Oops. They have that space. There's a tritone in that chord, which is part of what makes it sound the way it does. Use a lot in Nine Inch Nails music. That's cool. Okay, I love this because you're hitting some of the notes that you might expect, but you're also like dancing around them in a sort of chromatic way, which makes it sound kind of eerie, and it's all high up in the piano, very spaced out and sparse. Dum dum da, da. It's just got this, it makes me think of violins actually. So there's like a nice balance of sort of totally subverting my expectations and going in directions I didn't expect and then meeting some of them. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Ooh, I love these drops. Great panning. Melody, I'm curious, did you write this melody first and then add those chords underneath, or did you play the chords, the pads, first and then add the melody? I'd be curious to know which order it was, because it's cool. You're definitely like doing things that like, yeah, you just like don't expect. Like the chord progression you're using can set up some very strong expectations, and you are going in a new direction with pretty much every single melody chord matchup. So that's pretty interesting. I'm intrigued. I like it.
I woke up on the strange side of bed today as I was wondering what I could say. Heard a strange rhythm, it was quite bizarre. Some might even call it avant-garde.
Okay, so your overall chord progression is G sharp minor to D sharp major, then to C sharp major, and then back to D sharp major. So if we look at that in terms of chord symbols, it would be 1, then 5, major 5. So sorry, minor 1, major 5, and then a major 4, back to the major 5. Back to the 1. Sorry. It's cool because in a typical minor key, you would have a minor 1, a minor 5, a minor 4, and then a minor 5. But you've turned those other chords major, so they have a lot more confidence, more power. They create more interesting resolutions. They have stronger resolutions. So this is definitely almost like, I mean, I think I've heard this before in your music. It's like there's a little bit of a classical influence, whether or not, you know, that's intentional. But 1-4-5-1 is like a classical chord progression. But that major 4 is definitely a bit unexpected. That would be a borrowed chord from the parallel major key of G sharp major. You know, and it's got this sort of like, ooh, interest to it. And then this sets up what's called an authentic cadence back to 1. It's very cool. I love the vocoder. Always love vocoder. like a ghost in the background, like, ooh. I thought I heard that. If I didn't, that would be crazy. But yeah, there's something very, very haunting about this. I love these drums. These are super creative. Just the way you're accenting things and the way they're panned and all the reverb on them. It just feels like I'm in a big dark room, but not totally dark. Like I can still see what's going on, but yeah, there's something just like creepy and haunting about this. Well, it's called the aftermath. So it's after something perhaps terrible that's happened, right? But yeah, it's like, and also it's swinging a little bit. It's good. A lot of syncopation. But yeah, it's just what I like about your music is that, and I kind of already said this, but I'm just gonna say it again. I feel like there's a nice balance of subverting expectations and meeting them. And but there's a lot in here that like I just don't expect. So there's kind of this constant feeling of engagement, right? It's hard to zone out, which is good. It's like, you know, what is coming around the corner? It gives a sense of anticipation. So that's pretty cool. Okay, there's definitely voices. Yes. I was ready for a break.
The rhythm, I tried to find the groove. I pretended this was chess. I looked for its opening move.
Vocoder is just great. All those chords, so many harmonies, you know?
I tried to match my wits. This only failed. Just as I gave up, the truth unveiled.
So now we've got the swinging. Gives it a different feel. It's great with your lyrics, right? Trying to find the groove. Like, let's try this one. I think it's really cool how you're sort of mixing this like classical sound with acid. You know, like I can't really think of off the top of my head of any other artist that's doing that. So that's dope. I love this. I mean, it's technically not a suspension, but it has that feeling of like a little ahead, little above where we want to go, and then resolving. Oh, there it is. Ah, I was just telling a student about this particular motion of like a major triad and a flat six on top. Resolving. Technically, this is an augmented chord. It's got this really like dramatic, film scorey kind of sound to it. Really wants to resolve down, which is what you do. So, right? Ooh, it's great. Fierce. Your ears. way that like acid lines they're so expressive. You know, when there's so many accents, that sort of bright, harsh sound, you know, and it's not every note because you have like the glissando or portamento, whatever of the notes sort of not being articulated, every single one of like, and then, you know what I mean? So it can sound so vocal, you know, so organic sounding. And I really love how there's so much anticipation of the beat. It's just like very exciting, kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. Yeah, it's dope. Okay. That's such a great change. Because before you were doing na na da 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 da. Now you're going da. Oh, that's so cool. Because da, da. So now your vocoder harmonies. I guess you're like playing these chords, right? While you're singing, or I don't know how it works. Never used one. So instead of this chord, which is the chord that the bass line is like the root of, so D sharp major. Instead of choosing that part of the chord, you move everything up a third and then go, which is sort of like, so the 5 chord in even classical music would often have a 7th above it. That would create a 7th chord instead of just a triad. So it would go, which creates a very, very strong resolution back to 1. Or, so that's sort of implied, I think, a lot of the time when you're going like, dun, da, da, I can just kind of hear it like in my head, like, ah. And then you did it. So you actually explicitly gave us that sound, which is that dominant 7th chord I was talking about before, a very sassy sound. You might have done that in another instrument earlier, but now it's in your voice, which is, of course, where most of our attention is going. So now it goes, that 7th, that flat 7. Do you hear that? It just feels like it's, you know, it's like building. Right now we're in the upper part of the chord. It's such a great way to build energy and create even more tension. So, you know, now we're probably going to resolve back to 1, but who knows? Maybe we'll have a deceptive cadence where we'll go to a different chord. I don't know. Before I get to the end, I like how you're using the acid line. They're using like the octaves as a way to sort of differentiate, create variety, perhaps build energy. Like I feel like we've maybe spanned 3 octaves before we had the acid kind of in this range. I think I'm gonna sneeze. I'm so sorry. Maybe not. And then I remember hearing at one point it going down here. And now I think it's up here or something. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's, you know, kind of, it's moving around in the octaves. So now things, you know, definitely feels like all the layers are on, right? Everything's kind of culminating to some kind of climax. The acid line is coming up high, sort of battling for that front and center spotlight as the voice. It's just like all I mean, it's interesting. It's like, I wonder what the aftermath is of the aftermath. We're about to find out. Nice. Hey now. Okay, this ending is great. So, okay, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I gotta hear that one more time. It's great. Okay, I love that there's not like, I love that this ending is sort of just like a wind just kind of blew through the room. You know, it's not like a long drawn out, which would have been cool too. But I like the contrast of like this long build, climax, and then just like takes your breath and it's gone. You know, I also love that you set up an expectation for a 4 or an 8 bar, I think, musical phrase of this. Right, those 4 chords. And so that's what I was expecting. But you just gave us 2. And you left us on the most tense chord in the whole song. Pretty much like the 5 chord, which is what creates the strongest resolution back to 1. So what this is called in classical terms is a imperfect half cadence. There we go. Half cadence. So you left us on the tense chord. You never resolved it, which is just so cool. It really makes you think that there's something that's coming next, you know, but you may never get it, right? There may not be anything next, but it's just this haunting like feeling of like, these things have such a strong emotional impact. Most music ends on the 1 chord, which would in your case be G minor. So you're all like, sorry. Here's 1, right? That's what you'd assume, that somehow you'd bring us there. But instead it's dot, 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 right? That is great. I think this is my favorite one that you've played for me, Melody. This is awesome. I love this. I might put it on a CD and throw it on in my car if that's okay. That's awesome. So there's more than 8 piano etudes. So there's 1 through 7. Ah, interesting. Well, I'm sure this is all on your Bandcamp, right? Bandcamp.com/Melody Klein, I believe. I'll put the link in the video description. But this is very cool. And this was written in the last couple months during this very prolific time for you. Wrote on the 15th of this month. Well, I don't know. That's a quote from you. I'm not sure. Oh, the quote's from 2 months ago. Okay. Anyway, this is probably not very interesting. Anyway, yeah, this is very, very cool. I'll put the lyrics in the video description as well in case anyone wants to pick those out. But it's all about finding the groove. Oh, that's the other comment I wanted to make. When I listened closely, I could hear. So your drum groove has a swing. Your acid line is straight. And they're always at odds like that. It's not just like that one part I pointed out. They're always at odds. And whether or not that was intentional, you can tell me in the comments. I liked that way that sort of described kind of what your lyrics are saying, right? Like I followed this rhythm. I had this strange rhythm in my head, bizarre rhythm. I looked for its opening, you know, like I'm trying to find the groove. It just thought it was like kind of cool, like lyric painting. So yeah, curious to find out if that was intentional or if that's just kind of how it came out of you. But I liked that connection that I made in my head listening. Very cool. Awesome. Well, keep it up. We love your music, Melody. So I'm really glad you're a part of this community. And until next time.